Hi there, it's Jonathan here. This is 4100 and we're studying the history of Israel's kings. In a scene resembling David stealing Uriah's wife Bathsheba and then sending him to the front lines to be killed, in chapter 21 we read about Jezebel stealing Naboth's vineyard. Ahab's sullen response to the news that Naboth could not give him his family vineyard is a classic example of shallow and immature leadership. Elijah is sent to bring a word of condemnation to Ahab for listening to the evil Jezebel in 21:17. Chapter 20 verse 20 and chapter 20:25 we're told that Ahab had sold himself to the powers of evil. Now this is likely to have actually meant that he had offered child sacrifice to the pagan gods in return for power and favour. Whatever he had done, he certainly aroused the anger of the Lord, verse 24, and Elijah told him so. Also, that dogs would soon lick his blood. Don't miss 20:29, where we are told that the Lord has noticed Ahab's repentance. This is startling to say the least. How is it that God cares about this two-faced, unfaithful, weakened, ungodly king? The truth is that Yahweh is full of compassion and mercy and is very quick to offer this mercy to all who would humble themselves and call on his name. Verse 29 reminds us of the curious manner in which curses of judgment are passed on to successive generations. How much generational curses continue today? I guess is a moot point, but it certainly seems evident that sinful traits are passed on and similar struggles emerge from generation to generation. Chapter 22 shines a light on what has been happening back in the south in Judah and with the king of Judah, Jehoshaphat. Verse 5, Jehoshaphat's quickness to want to inquire of the Lord is a welcome change from the ungodly kings we've been dealing with in recent chapters. This leads Ahab and Jehoshaphat in their attempt to unite against a common enemy to gather the prophets for a time of guidance from the Lord. I've always loved Ahab's line in 22:8 where he says, "I hate Micaiah the prophet because he never prophesies anything good about me." Oh, how we struggle with the truth as human beings. So much easier for a while to live in deception with our heads buried under the sand. Surprisingly, we discover throughout chapter 22 that the Lord has allowed a spirit or angel to go to the prophets and deceive them with a false prophetic word. A word that encouraged Israel and Judah to go into battle when all the while a devastating defeat was installed for them. Micaiah, the true prophet of God, tells them all of this and is summarily thrown into prison for his negativity. Don't miss the prophetic pointer to the Messiah in 22:17, where the prophet speaks of seeing Israel as sheep without a shepherd, scattered all over a hill. Jesus refers to this image and claims prophetic fulfillment as being the great shepherd of Israel himself. His sheep know his voice. Ahab dies as predicted, and Jehoshaphat reigns largely as a good king over Judah, verse 41. The book of 1 Kings concludes with Ahab's son Ahaziah succeeding his father's throne and unfortunately doing evil in the eyes of the Lord just as his father and mother had done before him. Jehoshaphat is followed by his son Jehoram. So as we conclude 1 Kings, Israel's kings of the northern kingdom are Jeroboam, Nadab, Baasha, Elah, Zimri, Omri, Ahab, and Ahaziah. And unfortunately, no one stands out as righteous from that group. In the southern kingdom of Judah, we have Rehoboam, Abijah, Asa, Jehoshaphat, and Jehoram. The Lord did warn the people that asking for a king was a bad idea. Always a good idea to listen to God's words. Enjoy reading them.